Welcome everyone to the Ink Imperator. Today we'll be talking about some paper, and the reason why I want to talk about this paper, the TESCO narrow-lined paper from around 2017, is because of its amazing fountain pen friendly qualities. For an example, I will be using Amethyst L'Oreal. That was a terrible pronunciation. I tried to practice before. In a TWSBI 580 AL 1.1mm stub, and I'll just write out the name of it. As you are all aware, this is a shimmering ink, and if I just quickly change the camera into high focus, yes, as you can see, the shimmer is pretty visible on the ink. Such as there, as it is now drying. That's a pretty decent amount of shimmer for a paper that's very cheap. I mean, this is £2 for 300 pages when I bought it. The Oxford Campus, which is amazingly superior, is twice that much for these. It's over twice that much for the same amount of pages. I will change the camera back. So with that shimmer results, you're probably starting to understand how good this paper is, and that's a really cool thing. And not just shimmering or so, even shading. This is a Noodler's Ahab Arizona in Diamine Autumn Oak. I'll just write. Another thing I want to point out, this is narrow lined. This is fantastic for fountain pen friendly paper, because for using much larger fountain pen sizes, or such as stubs or double boards, you can double line. That's often be wasteful when you use it with regular paper. If I can provide some right now. With regular paper, you wouldn't want double lining. Would take up too much space, and you would use up the paper much quickly. Whereas these narrow lines, you can still double line, and it still works very well. I don't know where this. I think this is a thing from the brand, was it Pucker? They do good paper as well. Well, not as good as this, and that's pretty fantastic. This is why I wanted to make a video about this paper. So I'll do shading and sheening in a bit as well. Because it takes a while to set up the camera and focus. And I do have some other inks to show, but I think we're still on shading. So I've got some Pelican 4001 dark green, a wonderful shading ink. And another thing, I will attempt to use it with a Nico G-nib. This one is the titanium version, because durability. And again, after every time I write it, you'll see the close-ups of it. But the thing is, the reason why I keep mentioning 2017 was because the year I bought it, and that's when I discovered its wonders. Or so by the time I was halfway through my second book, which took around a year or so, I realized how wonderful it is for fountain pens. And it was it was a wonderful experience writing on paper. Unfortunately, that this is a very unfortunately, as you can see, I don't really have much sheets left, and that's because of how scarce it is now. I'll explain this much later on. Next up, we are going to do some sheening tests, and the Waterman Serenity Blue ink is good for its shading, but it's not often quoted for its shading. We will be using some Diamine Marine as our shading ink for this. I actually do have that in a fountain pen, so it'll be easier to apply, but I am pretty confident in the fact that Serenity Blue will shade on this. Speaking of which, let's write that down. Another thing I'm actually doing is I can show you this paper is good enough to actually stand being written on with a Nico G nib. The Nico G nib is a very fine nib indeed, and I am certain that this paper will hold it. You want to see? Look at that, even with the swatch I did, all it does is ghost, no bleed through. This is amazing paper, and this was amazing paper, and I can't get enough of it. So I mean, yeah, you can just buy some Oxford Campus, but you don't get that narrow line stuff. Or you could buy, or nowadays I hear that people don't need lines anymore, and have looked into that. So, and I can agree, if you know how to write in a straight line, then having guidelines, being free of guidelines, is amazing. I have attempted this before and can definitely say. And now we have some Diamine Marine. This is a Jinhao 159. I don't have I can't afford the Mont Blanc version of it just yet, and in a way I don't want to. And I think that's everything at the moment. You know what? I'll try and grab some more heavier inks. I'll go ahead and grab some inks. Okay, we have an inkwell. The way this inkwell works, it's part India ink and part gum arabic. The gum arabic section has all settled down, and I have to mix it in order to thicken the ink. But I believe that this will write pretty well with just plain India ink. I don't even think it will feather. In fact, I can actually see some of the sheening on Diamine Marine, which is amazing. Are you seeing this? This is not feathering at all, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously the ink is not really as high quality as it is, because the gum arabic has pretty much where all the pigments are. It's just lightly dyed, well, lightly pigmented water. But as we have a hero for the story, we must also introduce the villain of it. So this year I went and repurchased the TESCO narrow lined paper, and I have to say I am pretty disappointed with it. Well, first off, you can see that that's the Noodles Apache Sunset, and it's already feathering. I want to first off show just how absolutely terrible this ink was. We will first go test it out with some shimmering, shimmering ink. So it can shimmer, that's nice. But let's see if it can sheen. That's not a, that's how you write a B. And also shading as well, because I want to bring up something with once you start using a noodless, once you start using the noodless flex nib. Now, why am I keep writing? That's good. I'll just write that as noodless. I went a lot more flex heavy with this one, and yes, here we go. So we are getting, so noodless is, okay, that's standard. So noodless is, no, not noodless. Diamond Autumn Oak is a very good sheening ink. Although there's not much color variation when you compare it towards the other version. Yeah, look, haha, see, I was right. This one sheens, this one just soaks in all into one similar color. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the fall of one of the greatest papers of the world, and I am willing to sacrifice half a page of it just to show you how wonderful it is. Thank you for watching the Inkperator, and TESCO, please bring your paper back to its former glory.